Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
The time has come for the EE BAFTA Film Awards.
It's just great to be here.
What a year.
It's fantastic.
I'm having the best time.
I like it.
Watch it, celebrate it, feel it.
We've only just begun. What an array of stars! Right, let's give out some BAFTAs.
Oompa Loompa, Dumpity Doo.
The BAFTA.
The BAFTA.
The BAFTA goes to...
See you there!
Hello and welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards Red Carpet Show 2025. I'm Alex Zane.
And I'm Clara Anfo, and we are back on the finest of red carpets right here at London's South Bank.
Yes, we are in charge of welcoming tonight's nominees and guests, and we are so pleased that you can join us. Clara, we are back.
We are so back, baby. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Are you feeling good?
I'm feeling great, and you guys have got the best seat in the house because we've got cameras across this red carpet, so you can join in the party at home from all angles. Look, there you go. They're everywhere. Hello.
Hey! Guests from 360 degrees. I love to see it. Now, today we will be welcoming cast and crews from an incredible 42 nominated films. We'll also be talking to guests and nominees from across the world. Everyone from Timothée Chalamet to Demi Moore,
Pamela Anderson to Coleman Domingo,
Vanessa Kirby to Adam Pearson,
Ariana Grande to Cynthia Erivo.
It's going to be a wicked.
Very good. I'm glad that got the reaction it deserved. Now, just a reminder to you watching at home, you can join in the conversation and tell us all about your favourite films by using the hashtag EE BAFTAs.
And you won't be the only ones getting involved. Last night at the nominees party, we asked our guests what they've enjoyed this year, what their favourites have been, and who has been the star of their year.
I wonder what they said. I think my favourite person this year was Alex Zane. Yeah, Alex Zane.
Oh my God, I think it's a really strong year this year, so it's tough.
I don't know how I would choose.
A Real Pain.
A complete unknown.
The Brutalist, excellent.
Kneecap.
Yeah, Kneecap was all right, wasn't it? I didn't mind that one. That wasn't too bad.
I loved Sing Sing. I loved Nora.
There's been some great low-budget films this year that have sort of exceeded their budget. So I'm thinking of The Brutalist, I'm thinking of Nora.
I just saw The Apprentice a few weeks ago, which I thought was exquisite performances.
A lot of the films really focus on characters and character work, and I love that.
I didn't see a film at all that just didn't have amazing craftsmanship.
I loved the costumes in Conclave, in our movie.
I love everyone. My friends from industry are here.
I really like Sing Sing. I think it's just a brilliant film.
It's kind of amazing how different they all are.
For me, Nickel Boys is one of the most important first films, not just of this year, but really in many, many years.
There's a little film called Hard Truths, which is spectacular.
The Wild Robot. It's very moving, and it's a wonderful cast.
No Other Land, shining the light on an issue that is so, so important to our world.
I feel like there's been a lot of strong female roles. Wicked, obviously, Cynthia Erivo, born for the role.
There's been so many incredible performances this year. I mean, I love Isabella Rossellini in Conclave.
A lot of alliteration in this year's category. Mikey Madison, Jarell Jerome. My name's not alliterative, but it does rhyme.
Whoever wins in whatever category, this year more than ever thoroughly deserves it.
Well, the red carpet is ready to open. We are excited to see some of our nominees, but of course we have to welcome the main man, the host of the EE BAFTA Film Awards 2025, Mr. David Tennant.
You're very kind, thank you. It's lovely to be here.
Looking immaculate. Hey. Look at you.
It takes a village, let me tell you.
So, look, the BAFTA Film Awards, the EE BAFTA Film Awards, they celebrate cinema from across the world.
Yeah.
The world is watching.
Yeah.
It's your second year. How are you feeling?
Oh, you know, what can possibly go wrong? It'll be all right, won't it? It was fine. We got away with it last year. The thing is, the lovely thing about hosting it is, you open it up, and then after that, it's not really about you anymore. It's about everyone who's there biting their fingernails to the quick, wondering if they're going to win a prize or not. So it's quite nice to watch them suffer. I don't mean that.
But as we know, David, the real winner is cinema, is
Oh, I
it
thought you were going
not?
to say me.
And
Sorry.
Of course you.
Yes,
now,
thank you.
last year you treated us to not 1, not 2, but 3 costume changes. Are we upping the sartorial levels this year?
I think we're on 3. This is number 1.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
And we've got 2 more to come. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, stay tuned.
So, for those who will never host the EE BAFTA Film Awards, tell us, what is it actually like? What does it feel like to host these awards?
It feels a little bit surreal. Because obviously I have only done it once before, and the preparation is one thing, and you know what the script's going to be, and you figure out I'll stand there and I'll do this, and then when it starts, you look out and it's going, it is all the most famous people in the world,
truly,
and they're all just staring at you, going, what next? But it's fine because it's sort of about them. So I don't feel massively. I mean, if the autocue goes down, that would be quite scary.
But I reckon you got some good jokes in you, haven't you, David?
What if I do extempore?
Yeah.
Let's see what happens later.
You know, a creative moment. We're ready to see it all.
Well, listen,
now,
I'll be calling on you to get up there and help me out.
Ready for you. It's a team effort.
Yeah.
Now, last year, an incredible dog was was the star of the show, one of the stars of the show.
Bark
this
Ruffalo.
year, are we upping the ante? Is it going to be Bark Ruffalo and friends, perhaps?
There are no dogs featured in the show this year. That's a spoiler.
Yeah.
But there are no. There's no dogs scripted to be featured. I mean, who knows?
True.
Who knows?
Well, Demi Moore, she could be bringing her little peel off with her.
Does she bring her dog?
The dog
around?
goes everywhere with her.
I'd
so
quite
you
like the
never
dog
know.
from Deadpool to show up, but I don't think there's no. They're not on the schedule.
No.
So, come on, give us something. Give us an inkling of
little
what we
bit,
can
come on.
expect. Give us something. No massive spoilers, but something.
I do get shown the way by Brian Cox.
You get shown the way by Brian Cox.
Yeah.
That
That's
is
a spoiler.
Suitably weird
That is
as a
spoiler.
sentence.
And not the stargazing one.
Yep.
The sweary one.
Okay.
Yeah.
just to be sure.
Yeah, just so you're clear. Yeah.
All right.
David, we wish you the best of luck hosting
Thanks very much.
tonight.
Well, good luck to you guys out here. It's a bit chilly today.
Hey, we're going to firm it. Like, we're going to take a cue from you, like the strong Scotsman you are.
We've all got to be very strong today.
If you can handle it, so can we.
Right, well, we better get on with our hosting
think we
job.
must.
Good luck, guys.
So we will
Thank
say
you.
goodbye and thank you, David Tennant.
See you
Thank
later.
sir.
Good luck.
Until then.
Gwendolyn Christie, lovely to see you this evening. You are here presenting an award.
I am indeed. I'm very excited to be presenting the award for costume design this evening.
Excellent stuff. Now, I want to geek out with you. Severance. Joining season 2. Tell me how that came about, because it's quite an interesting way that you ended up in Severance.
Okay, so Severance is my favourite show on television at the moment, and it was in season 1 as well. It's a very convoluted story, this, but basically, I was hugely lucky, and I was nominated for an Emmy, and I was at the Emmys, and I took a photograph of my boyfriend and I sitting together to celebrate this momentous occasion, and looked at it, and then saw that Ben Stiller was in the corner of the photograph. And I'd recently watched Escape at Dannemora, which is an incredible series. It's so beautifully directed. It's a really exceptional piece of work, and I really wanted to work with Ben. And then I said, oh no, he's looking directly at the camera. What if he thought I was taking a picture of him? He's going to think I'm completely weird. And then I got a tap on the shoulder, and I looked around, and it was Ben Stiller. And he said that he enjoyed my performance in Game of Thrones, which I was really excited about, and tried to kind of play it cool. And I thought, well, it's okay. Probably doesn't think I'm too weird. And then I asked if we could meet, because I really wanted to work with him. And we met, and he's an incredible person, such a great creative. And he told me about Severance, and I thought the premise of it was electric. And then I watched the show, and I thought it was such phenomenal television. It sort of transcends television, actually. And it was so good, I got annoyed I wasn't in it. I'm quite upset and angry. And then I was having a dark night of the soul. Why aren't I in this show? Anyway, the next morning I woke up and there was an email from Ben Stiller's producer asking me if I'd like to become a part of the show.
Oh my God!
And it's wild, and it's all true. It's wild, isn't it?
That's amazing.
But I think it's also quite fitting for Severance. That's
it's very Severance.
It's very Severance.
And obviously Adam Scott is here this evening. I love him. What's he like to work with?
Oh, Adam! I cannot, honestly, I want to sort of try and be humorous. You can't say a bad word about Adam.
Oh, that's
he is
good
an
to hear.
absolute delight, but he's such an exceptional actor. He's so good in Severance because he brings reality to everything he does, but he's also able to tread that very delicate line of the absurd and be very funny but still very real. And as a person, he's a delight. I'm so excited. I actually texted him saying, "Will I see you today?" So yes, I'm thrilled to see him.
Okay, well, that's Severance. That's brilliant. Now, talking film, any favourites tonight? Are you looking forward to seeing anyone on stage in terms of a winner? Are there films that particularly stuck out for you?
I've really loved watching the films this year. I really have. There's been so many great films and great performances. I loved Honora. I loved Conclave. I loved Hard Truths and Marianne Jean-Baptiste in Hard Truths. It gives such a tour de force performance.
A performance.
And I'm very excited for Demi Moore tonight because the performance she gives in The Substance transcends so many different boundaries in terms of her performance is really vital. It's really visceral. It's incredibly real. But at the same time, it's commenting on the traditional tropes we have in terms of women's female beauty, women, perceptions of women, and the whole genre of horror becomes elevated and translated in an entirely different way. And I would love to see Demi win tonight.
That's good to hear. And also, it's great to see horror represented at an award show so often overlooked.
Yes, I agree. And I think it's always a good thing when we see further inclusivity and more development and embracing of different genres. There's so much great alternative work out there.
Okay, final question. A question we're asking everyone this evening. A film you love that you feel people need to see if they haven't seen. Not just from last year, just any film that you love that you believe people must watch at some point.
I think just off the top of my head, Tangerine.
What movie?
Is an incredible film. And I remember when it came out being so shocked by its freshness and originality and the subject matter and the way in which it's filmed. That is a great film. It's a gem of a film. There's brilliant performances in it. And, you know, Sean is doing what we see him he's at the very beginning of his journey through to where we come to now with Honora. He's a great storyteller.
He certainly is. Gwendolyn Christie, it's lovely to see you here at the EE BAFTA Film Awards. Have a great night. Good luck on stage.
Thank you so much.
Jeff, it is always a delight to see you. Welcome to the EE BAFTA Awards 2025.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor to be here, truly.
I mean, there is so much to celebrate. Wicked, let's get into it. A film so dear to your heart, a film made right here in the UK.
It sure was. A hop, skip, and a jump from here. We were at Sky Elstree Studios, weren't we? Well, John M. Chu is the masterful director for that. Jeez, I think the world of him. What a great, great man he is. He made a movie that some call a masterpiece. It's a very beautiful movie, and so many people are loving it. And, of course, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are in it.
Your two new besties.
I love them very, very much. Jonathan Bailey, Michelle Yeoh. So I love being in that movie. I'm very lucky.
Well, that's the thing. The film is, you know, as well as the topics that it brings up around, you know, people being excluded and people fighting for what's right, it is about love, isn't it? Because the love that you guys have, you know, in your cast, it's palpable. You can feel it.
Thank you so much, Clara. Yeah, you know, it is. Yeah, it's a rollicking entertainment, but it's about important things, as you say, and deep things and some profound things being seen. That's right, and the beauty that happens when you look at others with compassion,
Absolutely.
I suppose. But yes, it's about the love of those two women, and what happens when they collaborate, and those two actors and master musicians, work together in such a uniquely kind, sweet, and beautiful way that it infected all of us. It was a very spiritual and sweet and adorable thing.
And we have more of it to look forward to in November. Wicked. for Good.
Yes.
The second and final part. Now, look, again, no pressure, but pressure, because it's the BAFTAs. The people want to know, what more can we see of you as the wizard in part 2? What challenges does he face?
Hey, good question. Well, if you've seen the stage show, which has been beloved these couple of decades, you know, it follows something along those lines. But that was taken from Gregory Maguire's novels, and, you know, so... Oh, the wizard, you know, it's an interesting, complicated, shadowy, but sweet character, isn't it? And there are challenges, as you say, relationship challenges, family challenges, musical challenges.
Have a little
the beauty I left here in town.
Well, there we go. A little
Clara,
preview.
you better be in that third movie.
Hey, I'm ready. Now, quickly, before you go, tonight you're doing something very special for people that we have sadly lost in our beloved industry. What an honour is it for you to be here tonight, to be asked to do that, because it's so special, Jeff.
Very special. It's a great honor for me. Yeah, the people, you should see some of the people. I've already practiced it a little bit, and they're, you know, the pictures and some of the footage of the people. Oh my gosh, some of whom I knew and worked with, you know. It's a great honor to do this, and I get to play a little piece on the piano that I've practiced, and I hope it's okay.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. Here's to celebrating the people that we've lost, celebrating the people that are still here, and celebrating your great film and your castmates in Wicked.
Thank you so much. Well, you're very much still here.
Still here, Jeff Goldblum, and
Radiant.
as are you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank
Jeff
you.
Goldblum, everybody.
Thank you, Clara.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'm joined now by the director of Love Lies Bleeding, the brilliant Rose Glass. How are you this evening? Welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards.
Thank you.
How does it feel to have your film nominated this evening for Outstanding British Film?
Wonderful, and it's very surreal to be here. Amazing group of films. It's weird, the only other time I sort of got nominated for something like this was during lockdown, and that was on a laptop in pyjamas, so it's a nice contrast.
So it's nice to get dressed up.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Right. I have to say, it's such a wild ride of a movie. I absolutely loved it. When you had an audience watch it for the first time, I think it premiered at Sundance, what was the reaction in the room towards the end when it really goes, can I use the word bonkers? Yes.
Nice, yeah, a lot of that. A lot of very vocal, which is always a really massive relief when you're sitting there like nervously watching it, people for the first time, where everyone goes like in the right places. So yeah, noisy reaction.
And you'd wanted to work with Kristen Stewart for a long time. What was it about her that you saw in her that you went, she's right for this role?
I don't know, it's hard to put your finger on stuff like that sometimes. She's just, from really early on when we and Veronica were writing it together, she just fit this person so well, and I don't know, she's got a kind of like moody anti-hero, sort of heartthrob kind of thing going on, which fit this story pretty well.
And as well as that, Katie O'Brien, who I've interviewed numerous times, who I think is just fantastic, giving her the biggest role of her career so far, and watching her transform, I mean, literally physically for the role.
Brilliant.
What was that like?
I mean, it was extraordinary. We only cast her, we only sort of found her and confirmed her for the role literally like 2 weeks before we started filming or something like that, so she just completely got thrown into it and was phenomenal. Yeah. We knew we wanted to find somebody who's sort of like a new face who the audience wouldn't be as familiar with, and yeah, she's incredible.
And when it comes to, and I'm going to use the word again, I hope you don't mind, the bonkers bits towards the end, is it all right to call them bonkers?
Yeah, call it what you like.
Okay, the bonkers bits towards the end, was there ever any pushback from the studio on that? Did you think there might be?
We were pretty lucky. It was, we made it with A24 and Film 4, and they're pretty up for taking risks. So I think I just sort of fooled them all with confidence, and they were kind of like, go for it, yeah. And then when you're actually filming it, everyone's like, oh.
Well, enjoy your first actual award show, not in your pajamas. It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you very much.
Have a great night.
Cheers. Nice to meet you.
Jeff, team The Wild Robot, welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards 2025. I mean, what a glorious story this is. Talk to us about how you first discovered Roz and how she came to you as a concept.
Oh golly, so it all came from a wonderful book by Peter Brown, who wrote and illustrated the book, the Wild Robot book, and DreamWorks had acquired it, and we were just lucky enough to be at DreamWorks and got to work on it.
So when you inherit someone's intellectual property, you inherit a story that has been beloved by people before you had an idea of it. How do you go about creating something brand new that still retains what the author originally intended?
Right. The adaptation is everything. Yeah, it's about like taking the core themes, the core story, and making sure that you get that to the screen successfully. And everything you change is in service to keeping that true.
And I need to talk to you about your incredible voice cast.
Yes.
Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal, I mean the list goes on, Mark Hamill, these are all icons of cinema. How do you go about choosing these voices and hoping they say yes?
I mean, really, it was a collaboration with Christy Soper, our casting director in the studio, but the desire was to kind of have a balance of established voice actors, but also people like Lupita and Pedro who've never done a feature animated film before, which was exciting and fresh and a little crazy to us that they hadn't been utilized in this way. So they brought some freshness to it, but all of them are just such incredibly great actors and their voices are so distinctive. And what inevitably happens, and you hope happens, and was definitely the case with this, was that their personalities kind of really help shape the characters, and they kind of become the same.
Well, yeah, it's really interesting seeing actors take on animation projects for the first time, because it seems to bring out just a different sort of playfulness that you've never seen before, right?
Yeah, especially with Pedro, you're trying to find like the core of what makes him him. And the interesting thing is, he's really different in our film than in a lot of the things he does. He is way more playful. And in our recording sessions, we identified that part of him, and we encouraged him to really lean into that. And he even said at one point that he felt like Fink is, a lot of ways, a lot more him than a lot of the stuff he does.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I think, there is so much artifice when it comes to actors playing, grown adults, but there's something different about not hiding, but I guess freeing yourself in an animator character, right?
It is, and it's also something where, they don't have the physicality of their performance anymore, so their facial expressions and things are no longer seen to the audience, and so everything has to happen through the voice. But what's great about animation is that our animators are able to look at recordings of the actors performing their roles and can still pull elements of the physical performance through to the animation.
Absolutely, and it's seen, it's been felt, and you have your nominations tonight. Guys, congratulations on making a beautiful, beautiful film. Team Wild Robot. Chris, Jeff, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm joined now by the brilliant Thomasin McKenzie. How are you this evening? Welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
You are doing a presentation of an award this evening.
Yes. Documentary.
Okay, well, good luck later. Now, if it's all right with you, I want to talk about a film that came out late last year that you made, Joy. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Tell me about making that movie and why it was an important movie to be made.
Well, it's a true story, the invention of IVF, that has resulted in over 12 million births, which is pretty incredible. Millions of parents who have been able to have children because of this technology. So I play Jean Purdy, who is one of the team of scientists who created IVF, along with Bill Nye played one of the scientists, and James Norton, who I'm presenting with tonight.
And your Jean's story, your character's story, was almost erased from history.
Yeah, because she was a woman, and at the time the scientific community didn't want to celebrate her.
Looking forward, though, and also very quickly, I loved Eileen.
Thank you.
Eileen was fantastic.
Thanks.
But looking forward, you've worked on a film just recently with Mona Fastvolt and Brady Corbet, obviously the team behind The Brutalist. What can you tell us about that project?
I don't think I can tell you anything.
I thought that might be the answer.
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble.
But you can at least, I'm sure, tell us what it was like to work with them. Obviously, they're nominated for the Brutes list this evening. What's it like to work with them as filmmakers?
It was so much fun. They are obviously such incredible talents, and they really bring the best out of each other creatively. It's amazing to see a couple that inspire each other so much and support each other to do their best work so much. So I feel very, very honoured to have worked with them.
And are you potentially now rooting for the Brutes list to win this evening, or are you keeping an open mind?
I'm rooting for the Brutes list. I am. I mean, I'm a little bit biased, but it's a fantastic film. It really is.
Final question, we're asking everyone this evening, a film that you love that you believe everyone needs to see in their lifetime. Any film at all, what would you pick?
I would say, it's a good question. I would probably say Civil War, the film that came out quite recently with
the Alex
Kirsten
Garland
Dunst.
movie.
I really enjoyed that, and it felt scarily close to reality. So, that.
Civil War is going on the list. Thomas and Mackenzie, always great to see you. Have a lovely night.
You too.
Vengeance most foul indeed. Nick Park, Merlin Crossingham, welcome to the EE BAFTA Awards 2025. And you have come with solid friends.
Yeah, the cast is with us.
Yeah, they scrub up quite well, don't they? Yeah.
They scrub
Better
up
than us.
beautifully.
Yeah.
No, I think everyone looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
These characters have truly become so deeply ingrained in British fabric, just in our storytelling. When we think about animation and we think about our imagination, we do think of your films. Why do you think they've resonated with people so much over these decades it is now?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I have to pinch myself, since the first Grand Day Out, which actually won the BAFTA back in 1990, I think it was, 89, 90, and just how it's come on since then. It was a film school project, but I think it's to do, the clay helps, I think. The people can relate to clay animation because everyone's made models at some point in their life. And the man and dog relationship. Everyone believes their pet has human thoughts.
I certainly talk to my dog like he's a human being.
And I'm sure he understands
we
everything you're
every
going
word,
through, everything you're thinking and feeling, he is there. I mean, you're nominated for three titles tonight, which is incredible. Outstanding British film, children and family, and animation. Out of those three, which one would you say would mean the most to you to take home tonight?
Well, it's very difficult to say, really. The animation, because it's amongst our peers in the animation world, but actually to be nominated for Best British Film amongst live-action films, which animation doesn't often get a look into, I think that is quite special.
And
for us to be nominated there.
family children's film too, because it's always been a real sense of pride for us too that Wallace and Gromit appeals across all the age ranges. So that would mean all of them would be great, really.
All three, go for the hat trick.
3 big fat cherries on the cake if we won them.
Because
there
why
we go.
not?
I'm joined now by the brilliant James Norton. How are you this evening? Welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. You're looking fantastic, by the way.
So are you. So are
Look
you.
at this suit.
Thank you so
It's like
much.
you put me to shame.
You look great. You look great. So you are presenting an award this evening.
I am. I'm presenting a documentary with Thomas and Mackenzie.
Who I was just talking to. In fact, let me pick up the conversation that I was just having with Thomas, because you starred alongside her in Joy just at the end of last year. Why was that an important story to tell?
I mean, the response we had from people, well, whether they had been through the IVF journey or not, was so wonderful, and it was testament to how important that film was. I mean, I think, well, people don't really don't know the story, the origin story of IVF. A lot of people didn't know that it was 3 British scientists, and really the kind of perseverance and tenacity that was required for them to push it through. And also the women who put themselves forward for those tests, those early stages where there was no guarantee of a baby, and the sacrifice and the cost that it had on them, on which now IVF is built, and all those kids, those 2 million IVF babies that we are now lucky enough to have. It's an extraordinary story, and we were very, I guess, privileged and proud to tell it.
Well, congratulations, it was a great film.
Thank you.
I am going to ask a question, and you are going to go, oh, really? But you are still odds-on favourite to be the new James Bond.
Am I?
Yes, yeah, I checked. I knew you were coming. How are you feeling about those odds?
Whoever's deciding on these odds needs to get a new job. I don't know. I mean, yeah, same as I felt the last time. It's just so weird and bemusing. But I yet again, it's based on pure speculation, and it makes for a good little clickbait moment in the media, but other than that, it's just fun and bemusing, I guess.
Do you want to hear the latest bit of evidence as to why people think you are the next James Bond?
Go on, I'm desperate to hear it.
You'll love this. Trust me, you'll love this. So, in Playing Nice, your recent ITV show, you're at an event where everyone is in black tie.
This is true.
Apart from your character.
Yeah.
And obviously part of the Bond contract dictates that any actor who's playing Bond is not allowed to wear a tuxedo in any other film. So you are now officially playing James Bond.
I mean, if that's not evidence to seal the deal, then I don't know what is. I mean, it's got nothing to do with the fact that the character felt uncomfortable wearing a tux and was a bit low-key. That's obviously irrelevant. What's clearly, yeah, I mean, what can I say? Undeniable, you got me. Yeah, whoever's spotted that, 10 points, well done.
That sounds like you're confirming.
No, I'm definitely not, please. Don't follow up with another story.
I will not follow up any more questions about James Bond. Let's talk about the films tonight. Out of all the nominees, is there something that has stuck out to you, something you particularly enjoyed?
I mean, genuinely, a lot of them. A lot. I mean, I think we've had an amazing... I know that everyone's going to say the same thing, but it's so wonderful to have movies up there, you know, for best picture in the BAFTAs and the Oscars, and they're not. I mean, some of them are massive, big blockbusters, but a lot of them, I guess the majority, are smaller indies like The Brutalist, Brady, Corbet is a Friend, and it's astounding the kind of, you know, the achievement there, not just creatively and the story, the human struggle, but also like the commercial struggle that they must have gone through to make that movie for so little, and yet it looks like this. I guess this year is really reinvigorated the industry and proven that we can make films for not crazy hundreds of millions of budgets, and they can be as hard-hitting and as powerful as the big studio movies. So yeah, it's been a great one. Anora, I loved. I loved it. I thought it was. I mean, I know. Yeah, it's a brilliant year. I think my heart is with The Brutalist, just because I know that lot. I know Daniel, who wrote the music, and Mona, who wrote it, and yeah, they're just a wonderful group of filmmakers. So, but it's a hard one. There are so many good films.
And obviously, you have your own production company as well. Does it give you hope going forward, the level of films that we're seeing, like you say, made on much smaller budgets?
It does, for sure. I mean, I now have first-hand experience of how hard it is to get anything made, and you know, I've said this a few times on various sort of interviews or red carpets, but like, respect to producers out there who are fighting so hard to get stuff made, and often they don't really get the credit due. I think, you know, a lot of the time the actors, like now, case in point, we turn up in beautiful clothes which are sort of chosen by someone else, and we get to sell the movie and take all the credit. But actually, there are a lot of people behind the scenes who are fighting hard, and it's you know, there's no secret that right now it's harder than ever to get anything made, TV or film. So yeah, this year has been really encouraging for that reason, that, you know, people like Brady, like Sean Baker, they fought hard against the odds, and they've made special movies for not crazy amounts of money. So yeah, I think people like me and others are really excited and grateful for those filmmakers, you know, carving that path. It's a good year.
All right, final question, asking everyone, is there a film you love that people need to see in their lifetime? One film out of all films that you love that people must watch.
Okay, I'm going to say... oh my God, So, I mean, where do you begin with this kind of question? You know the Daniels who made Everywhere, Everything, All at Once?
Yes, yep.
They made a film called Swiss Army Man, which I don't think many people have seen.
Either
Have you
Viggo
seen it?
Mortensen?
No, it's Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes,
Have you seen
yes,
it?
I haven't, no.
It's a gem. I love that film, and it's what launched them. I was actually working with Paul when he was thinking about doing it. We were doing War and Peace out in Russia, and he was like, "This is insane!" It's basically about a Swiss Army. Daniel Radcliffe plays a human life Swiss Army man, like a sort of robot, and he farts his way through this movie. It's hard to say that without any context, but watch the film and it will make you sob with laughter and also with real tears. I just thought it was exceptional, and that's what launched them into where they are now. So Swiss Army Man is my movie. Go and watch it. I promise you will not regret it.
Swiss Army Man is going on the list. James Norton, lovely to see you. Have a
Likewise.
wonderful night.
And you, thank you.
Cheers, buddy. Great to see you.
Nice one, thank you.
Wumi Masako, welcome.
Thank you.
To the EE BAFTA Film Awards 2025. Your smile is wide.
Oh, yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
So you're presenting an award this evening?
Yes, I am, casting and editing.
Which is so important. Talk to me about how that's affected your life as an actor, like a casting director who really took a chance on you.
Well, funnily enough, Shaheen Baig, who is nominated today, I attribute my career to her. She gave me so many chances she cast me in I Am Slave, she cast me in Damalo the Olive Boy, she's cast me in so many things that have been monumental in my career.
Yeah, so it's always important to have that one person who just sees that thing in you, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
And they're going to be celebrated tonight.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about you. Excellent casting, Deadpool Wolverine. That looked like an absolute riot to film.
Was.
Talk to me about your first days on set.
Oh, I mean, it was such a joy. I mean, I got a call to say, do you want to be in Deadpool and Wolverine? The TVA are going to be in it. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, please. I mean, the first day was amazing. I was pregnant though, so it was all very intimidating and oh my gosh, I'm 7 months pregnant. How is this going to work?
Your baby's a movie star already.
Yes.
I love this. The baby has seen some things, but a great time was had.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And we've got to talk about upcoming projects. Sinners, working with Ryan Coogler.
I know.
I mean, Black Panther, Creed, the list goes on.
I know, it's such a dream.
What's that process been like for you?
Oh,
the challenge?
It was a dream job. It was really a dream job. It was the first job back after being a mom, and I was really scared, and it was honestly the best experience I've had on any set. Creatively, the city of New Orleans, the cast, everyone, we just had such a ball, and it became such a family. Honestly, it was a dream.
Well, that's the thing. You mentioned New Orleans. It's such an incredible city. There's a really there's a sexiness to it. There's a mysticism to it. Did you feel that when you were on set?
100%. I felt connected to myself. I felt connected to the homeland. I was and all this in New Orleans, a place I had never been before. It was magical.
We cannot wait to see it. And lastly, we're asking everybody tonight, what is a film that you think people need to see? It can be out at the moment, can be a classic, a film that means a lot to you. What do you think people need in their lives?
Well, a film that means the most to me, and I've said it 1,000 times, is Annie. It's the reason why I'm an actor. It's the reason it gives me so much joy.
As in, the sun will come out. As in, we've got Annie. I
think I quote Annie at least once a week. The sun will come out tomorrow, right?
I mean, wise words. That little girl knew what she was talking about. And so did Daddy Warbucks and the whole gang. Wumi, thank you so very much. We look forward to seeing you up there.
Thank you.
And enjoy BAFTAs tonight.
Thank you, I will.
Always a pleasure. Wumi Masako.
I'm joined now by the brilliant Adam Pearson. Welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards. You are presenting an award this evening.
I am indeed Best Supporting Actress.
Best Supporting Actress. Well, good luck up there. Now, you starred with one of our other nominees this evening, Sebastian Stan, in A Different Man.
Indeed.
Tell us about working with him. Obviously, he's nominated for The Apprentice.
He's awesome. I have this theory where if I want to get really good at something or learn about something, you get around people who already do it to a masterful level and just bother them. Just get in their way and source them to teach you by osmosis. And I was incredibly fortunate. I've always been incredibly fortunate in my acting career to work with amazing people like Sebastian Stan, Renata Rinze, Scarlett Johansson. And I'm not back when coming forward and bothering people. But no, he's incredibly talented, kind, patient, and just an awesome guy. I'm honoured to have worked with him, and I'm blessed to know him.
And the film itself is a very thought-provoking movie. What do you hope people take away from A Different Man?
I'm not really a big fan of telling people what to take away from things, and I think that's why A Different Man is such a good film, and why Amy Shinberg is such a masterful director, and he's not big into hand-holding. He'll just present a film and let the audience get there on their own. And we've been saying since day dot that a good film will change what you think for a little while, but a great film will change how you think for the rest of your life. And we're in the great film business.
I love that. That's a great sentence. So, let's talk about the nominees this evening. Is there any film over the past year that's nominated tonight that's really stuck out to you that you're hoping to see win tonight?
Wicked. I was very fortunate enough to be at the European premiere, and I cried 3 times. And I'm not normally a crier. As I've gotten older, and I think kind of dating has done that to me as well, but I think Wicked is just an amazing feat of cinema. All the sets are built, the effects are practical. I loved it. Nosferatu is my film of the year, and it's not even close. I think Robert Eggers is a genius director. All his films just put you on the edge of your seat. And I enjoy watching your films, Robert, but I don't have sons. Right?
I get what you mean. Like the sense of dread in something like The Witch or The Lighthouse, it pours off the screen.
Hansel and Gretel, he's taken a story that's already not actually a kid's story and somehow made it worse or better depending on who you are.
It's so true. It's so true. Finally, a question we're asking everyone this evening. A film that you love, that you believe people need to see in their lifetime.
I believe, and I will die on this hill, Alex Zane, Legally Blonde is the greatest underdog story in cinema.
We're being sincere here?
Deadly sincere. Like, you look at Rocky and go, oh, what about Rocky? But you look at Stallone and think, yeah, you could probably handle yourself in a boxing ring.
Right.
Whereas you look at 2001 Reese Witherspoon and think, Harvard Law, jog on. And so, yeah, I think it's a masterful. I think it's funny, I think it's charming, I think it's aged remarkably well. And yeah, I love Legally Blonde.
I love that answer. Legally Blonde is going on the list. Adam Pearson, lovely to see you again.
You too, my
friend. Have a great night.
Joe Alwyn, welcome to EE BAFTAs 2025. 9 nominations tonight for The Brutalist. What a joy to be part of that film, right?
Yeah, no, it's so exciting. It's lovely that the film's been recognised. You never know how anything's going to do, and so yeah, we all feel very happy to be here.
Well, this is it. I mean, there is so much ambition around that film. You know, considering the budget, considering Brady's journey with like making it, it's sort of like 7 or 8 years in the making. Finally got greenlit. That must have been quite an intense experience, I guess, with you guys, because it's quite a small cast relatively. Right?
Yeah, it's like I think I met him back in 2019 about it, so he's been trying to make it for a long time, and as you say, it was a relatively small budget and it was a quick shoot. So yeah, it's nice that it's come all this way.
And I want to talk more about your character, Harry. I mean, particularly the dynamic that he has with Guy's character. You can see there's levels of trauma between these two men, not quite explored. And how did you go about finding that in the character with Guy?
I mean, lots of it is in the script, to be honest. And I've worked with Guy, this is the 3rd time now, so having that kind of relationship with him and knowing him beforehand and having a bit of a shorthand with him, I love him and he's great, and it was a pleasure to work with him again.
And when it comes to The Brutalist, I mean, look, it's a lengthy film which I really enjoy. It's something to really savour, because I think we're also in an era where sometimes I think we want a quick film, but actually not so much now. I think there's a thing about savouring, you know.
Yeah, and also we binge shows in one day.
Exactly.
You can do it. 3.5 hours.
And there's an interval, guys.
There's an interval. Go out, have a cigarette.
What was it like watching the first edits of it?
It was pretty similar to seeing the final cut. I think I saw an edit of it and then I saw the final thing in Venice, and there was like one frame, one shot difference. But it was always, it was always very ambitious and big in its scope and big in its storytelling, and that was kind of there from reading it. So it didn't change a huge amount, but I love what Brady did. I love what everyone did in the film, and yeah, we feel so proud of it.
I still really want to know what happens with Harry afterwards, and his father. I feel like there was much left unsaid, but also said. Did you feel that too?
Yeah, I mean, there's, without spoiling it, there's obviously something big that happens at the end, and there's a big reaction to this kind of revelation, and it turns a bit dark. It's interesting. It's meaty.
Well, look, if Brady ever wants to make a second part, would you be up for it?
Of course.
A carry on?
Of course.
And lastly, we're asking everybody this evening, is there a film that you think that you are desperate for people to see, whether it's a classic, something that's currently out at the moment that you would love to share with people?
What's out at the moment? I really loved seeing Nickel Boys.
Nickel was incredible.
Yeah, Nickel Boys I loved. But there's been a bunch this year, like Honora I thought was brilliant. Hard Truths, the Mike Leigh movie I loved. Yeah, there's
Queen Marianne all day.
Oh my God, yeah, she's amazing.
Well, look, safe to say, Joe Owen's got great taste in movies. Joe, thank you so much for spending time with us, and good luck for tonight.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. Naomi Aki made a promise that we were going to start this interview just going like this.
Just grooving.
Just feeling the looseness in the hips, because why not? Naomi, what a time to be alive. What a time to be you.
Yeah, it's good.
At the EE Film Awards.
Yeah.
Look, talk to me about what BAFTA means to you as a young actor coming up in the UK.
Yeah, I watched the BAFTAs since I was a kid. 2, when I was lucky enough to win one, that was like a huge, game-changing time in my life, in my career.
Shout out to the end of the world. Yeah, exactly.
and coming back now, I was saying to a friend earlier, it's like you just bump into people you haven't seen in a while, and it's a time to celebrate film, celebrate creatives. So I'm so happy to be giving away an award today.
Well, this is it. You are giving away an award. Let's talk about the category that you're celebrating.
Yeah. Outstanding British film.
Outstanding. And there are so many incredible films in that category.
Yeah.
Now, I won't press you for a favourite per se, but what would you say is the common thread amongst these films that you feel makes them outstanding?
You know what I am loving at the moment is how authentic and new a lot of these films feel. I feel like we're out of that lull of seeing the same thing over and over again, and it feels like new voices are coming through, and it's super exciting how people are choosing to share their stories. That's what I love to be in, that's what I love to work on, and that's what I love to see. So I'm hoping one of those ones win.
It's so true what you say. I think the great thing about this year is that no one can quite call it, which I really like.
It's close. It's close, which is exciting.
Now, your career, look, wonderful things are happening, from seeing you as Frida in Blink Twice, and now in Mickey 17, Miss N. Talk to us about this journey as well, working with...
You know what, I was chatting, so I've just done a film with Taylor Page, and Kiki Palmer and Demi Moore. Let me know a thing. And Will Porter. They're all in it for Boots Riley. And me and Taylor were chatting about how we're almost career twins. This is the 10th year that we've been working in film, and it really feels like it. It feels like there's a solidity about my career that I've never really felt before. A sense of confidence and a feeling of okay, you're good, you're safe, you can just keep going, slowly plodding along and figuring out what you want to do next. So I'm just in a very happy, gentle space right now.
It's really beaming off you. But but you're certified. You are one of our beloved actresses.
That's cool.
It's so cool.
I don't like to think about that too much, because then I just start going
okay. Well, on the flip side, to make you not go let's talk about a film that you think other people should see, or an actor that we should keep our eyes and ears on this year.
That's not fair. I can't do that. I'm so bad at this.
Okay.
Suddenly my brain just goes completely.
That's all right. Well, I'll tell you what.
But can I just shout out?
Please.
Okay. Ava Victor, who I've worked with on a film called Sorry Baby that showed at Sundance. I saw it about 3 weeks ago, and it's such a special film. it's coming out at some point, and that is the last film I saw, and she is simply an ingenious human being. She wrote it, directed it, and she starred in it, and she's incredible. So that's 2 in 1.
Okay, right on. And for you in the future,
Yeah.
are we going to see you writing and directing in future? Is that a passion
it's
of yours?
brewing, and I
pushing
keep
through?
on talking about it, and maybe part of me shouldn't, but like I am, and that's where my goal is. I want to set myself up as not just an actress, but just a creative on a whole.
Listen, and until that moment, we cannot wait to see it.
I'm excited.
Naomi, thank you so very much. Always a pleasure. Always. And go see Mickey 17 in cinemas.
Yeah, go see Mickey 17.
Thank you, my love. Pleasure.
I'm joined now by the legend, Celia Imrie. How are you this evening?
I'm extremely well and very happy to be here, and I love your suit, by the way.
That's very kind of you.
Gorgeous.
Thank you so much. You are presenting an award at the EE BAFTA Film Awards this evening?
I am, yes.
Good. Now, before we talk movies this evening, you are starring in probably one of the most anticipated films of 2025, the adaptation of Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club. Now, I'm going to have to look down to read
You're
this.
allowed.
Thank you. To read this cast list, because it's phenomenal.
Isn't it?
Along with yourself, Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley, David Tennant, Jonathan Pryce, Naomi Ackie, the list goes on. It's directed by Chris Columbus. It's produced by Steven Spielberg. What's it been like?
Well, I think the most thrilling day of all was a very hot summer's day near Reading, on the grass. We looked up, and there we saw a helicopter landing, and out came Steven Spielberg. And you know, the thing is, I'll always be starstruck forever in my life, but that was a real thrill.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Is he lovely?
Yes, adorable. Oh. But then so was the rest of the cast. I mean, I had to pinch myself quite a lot of the time, actually. I mean, it is extraordinary, and I hope everybody who's read the books and love it so much, because it's quite a responsibility that we do it how people want. Do they like the cast? Are they sure that we're the right cast? You know, who knows? Let's hope.
Because you're playing one of the main roles. You're playing Joyce, if I'm not wrong. Yeah,
yes.
Which obviously is a key character. Has it been fun though? Did you enjoy it?
Absolutely, every minute. And the thing about Christopher Columbus that I love is he's enthusiastic and encouraging. What more do you want, really?
What more do you want?
And also, it was lovely because I've worked with Helen Mirren before and Pierce Brosnan before. And David Tennant, so there's something rather joyful about all coming back together again.
Especially on a movie like this, which requires, I guess, a lot of friendship and connection.
Well, and sort of pretending that you've all been living together for a long time, which we haven't.
Of course. Back to this evening, a stunning year for film. Are there any standout films for you in particular? Is there something that you've really enjoyed this year?
Well, I'm just about to open a play at the moment, so I haven't seen as many of the films that I'd like to have done. But Mikey Madison and I worked together in Los Angeles on a wonderful program called Better Things, and I played her grandmother. So I'm delighted for her and hoping the evening is a success and a unforgettable one for her.
Mikey Madison, she's so good in Honora, and obviously seeing you back on screen in Bridget Jones as well.
Only for 1 second, but who cares?
Still back. It's good to see Bridget Jones back on screen,
it's
isn't
wonderful
it?
for the 4th time.
Yes.
I mean, I honestly couldn't have believed that. 25 years ago. But Renee is a dream. She really is, and doesn't seem to have changed in 25 years.
Now, I am asking everyone this question. It's a big question to end on, but is there a film you love that you believe everyone should try and see in their lifetime? One film. Oh, you have one already?
I have one already, except when I heard you ask the question, I can think of 2.
Okay, you can have 2.
Okay.
I'm not strict.
The first one, no question, straight away, is All About Eve. Betty Davis's fantastic. To me, I think it is one of the best made films ever. It's the story is so wonderful, the acting. That's for me number 1. And number 2 is Jaws.
Oh, That's my favourite film of all
There you
time.
go. You see?
I think I've got a little shark tint.
There you are, you see?
I
So,
love you for
a good
saying
mixture.
that. Great mixture. Celia, have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
you.
Lovely to see you.
I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
An absolute delight to be joined by Marianne Jean-Baptiste. Welcome.
Thank you.
To the EE BAFTA Film Awards 2025. Hard truths.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. In fact, I was talking about it last night with a couple of friends of mine.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, a film that forces us to tell the truth about our own lives, our own families. Have you found that's been the feedback that you've got?
I mean, there's been an overwhelming expression of, I know this woman, she's my auntie, she's my mother in some cases, do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's really wonderful that it's resonated with people, that they go home with it, they argue about it with their friends, they discuss it, they take other groups back to see it so they can talk about it some more. I think it's great.
Truly. I mean, work with Mike Leigh again must be, you know, such a special thing because, look, you've already got a shorthand with this man, right? Talk to me about when he first presented the idea of this film to you.
Well, basically, when you work with Mike Leigh, he'll call you and he'll say, I'm doing a film. Don't know what it's about. Don't know what you'll be playing in it. But we'll have fun. And you sign on for that process. So it's a conversation we've been having throughout the years of, you know, maybe getting together again. And, you know, we did. And the story evolves as you're doing it. You don't actually know what it's about until you see it.
Well, that's the thing. He keeps you guessing as a creative, doesn't he? He keeps you sharp, would you say?
Absolutely, because you're just focused on your character and what your character does, and, you know.
Now, Pansy. Watching her was hard, was awkward, made me feel sad, made me want to give her a hug. Like, how did you feel about her as a separate entity to yourself? Did you have empathy for her, would you say?
Oh, I think you have to, in order to play a character like that. Otherwise, it's going to be one note if you're judging them. You have to have compassion for her. And of course, because we created her together, I know what's made her like that. I know all the disappointments, the heartbreaks, the challenges and obstacles that she's faced.
And when it came to, you know, wrapping up the movie, saying goodbye to her, what was that like? Because I'm always so interested in that with actors. Obviously, when you first get to meet someone, you explain the process. You learn who this character is when you read these pages from your director. But saying goodbye, was that difficult with Pansy?
No.
You were like, laters.
Listen, as soon as we finished wrapping, I got back to the apartment that I was staying in and I got some scissors and I cut out them braids because I was like, I'm going back to myself. I'm going back to short, natural. Do you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, no.
A freeing experience.
Very free.
But I have to say, I think I really love the use of hair in the film, actually, and just hairdressing as a ritual and how it bonds black women. That was really important. Did you collaborate with Mike a lot on that?
Well, Michelle Austin, who
yes.
plays Chantel, she would have collaborated on that aspect of it because, you know,
again,
it's not Pansy's world, so Pansy wouldn't do it. But when watching it, because obviously I didn't know what was going on in those scenes, I was just jealous because she got to study hairdressing and I got to clean.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? And go shopping.
Tell people off in sofa shops.
Right, so when I saw those scenes, I was like, we have never seen it done like this before. You know, just the atmosphere, the little Luther Vandross playing in the background, like the women chatting, joking in there. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it really felt like home watching that film. Truly, well and truly. Okay, so I need to talk to you about what's next. What's on the flip side? Because, again, range is what you give us.
Right.
Who's coming after Pansy? What have you got for us?
Do you know, I've no idea. I've no idea whatsoever. Something fun.
Yes, something light.
Something light.
Where you're not cussing people out
not too
in car
light,
parks.
but light. Yes.
Well, I do have to ask you.
No fighting.
I do have to ask you. Finally, was it quite cathartic though to play someone quite nasty, just with just recklessly and freely?
Do you know what? I was just because people have asked me that a lot, but I was so kind of in it that I couldn't enjoy it because I was focused on her irritation and her pain and stuff. But when I'm watching it back, I mean, But she's got some one-liners in there.
I mean, I don't think half of them I can actually repeat, to be honest. But she's got some zingers.
Yeah.
Has Auntie
She really
Pansy.
does.
But you know what? I think I want to say thank you for making that film.
No.
It's important. I think it's going to definitely heal people in our shared community.
Yes.
And outside. To be fair.
yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Marianne, thank you so very much.
Oh, thank you.
And have a great BAFTA.
Thank you.
Congrats.
I'm joined now by the brilliant Sebastian Stan. Welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very excited to be here.
3 nominations for The Apprentice.
That's right.
Including yourself.
Most we've ever gotten. Yeah.
How are you feeling about being nominated?
Honestly, the gratitude is the most appropriate word and the only word, really. It's been a really long road with this film, and it's just been incredibly rewarding and validating to have had the BAFTAs recognize us, to be recognized at all, because obviously we didn't even know if the movie was ever going to come out. So it's pretty special to be here.
It's an incredible film, and watching yourself and Jeremy Strong on screen together is wonderful. Is it particularly special that he's been nominated as well?
Of course, it's incredibly deserving. I mean, I think, he had a really tough job. I mean, I think a lot of people have played Roy Cohn. I mean, but to me, this is sort of the most realistic Roy Cohn I've ever seen. And who doesn't love Al Pacino and all these great actors? Nathan Lane has played him. So I think he had his own sort of obstacles to kind of cross, and these are tricky personalities, right? And we're exploring their humanity and all of the colors. And of course, it's complicated. People aren't just black or white. There were things to Roy Cohn that were quite appealing to a lot of people, and there was a loyalty factor that he used as a card. I mean, a lot of things were transactional, but I think what Jeremy does with that character and taking you on this journey to show you the whole spectrum of this man is really, to me, astonishing. So.
You say a lot of people have played Roy Cohn, and Jeremy had a tough job, which is absolutely true. Trump is one of the most impersonated people on the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you go about finding your version of that man?
Well, at some point, I had to just sort of turn off all the noise and lock myself in a room and just basically try to understand who this person really was, because I'm not sure what person is left at this point. He's sort of become this weird kind of caricature of himself. I mean, when you look back at how things began, particularly in the late 70s and early 80s, there were very interesting kind of characteristics there. There was sort of an idealism as well, which at the time he got some great attention for, and there was some ideas towards the city and kind of coming in, and people were gravitating to him for this confidence and whatever. I mean, there was a showmanship, and obviously he's just been reinventing himself every decade, and kind of, which is really remarkable in a way. But for me, it was more not. I everything had to feel earned, whether, because he's been done so many times. So whether it's the hands, the gestures, lips, voice, inflection, I just really wanted to ground that and feel as realistic as possible. And only way to do that is you just have to keep exposing yourself. So that's. It was an interesting couple months.
I can imagine, but congratulations on that performance, and congratulations on your nomination. One final question this evening. Well, actually, 2 final questions. First of all, Thunderbolts, complete change of tack. Obviously, you're back in Thunderbolts. It's being described as Marvel's answer to the Suicide Squad. Is that a fair description?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think of it more as like the Breakfast Club. This movie I love, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's just an odd bunch of people that hopefully won't kill each other in the process and have to figure out a way to kind of work together. And it was just incredible fun. I mean, everybody's super sweet, and it's really funny and touching, and it actually deals with acceptance and owning yourself, and which is something my character's dealt with for many years at this point. So I'm excited for people to see it.
Excellent. And the final question. It's a question I'm asking everyone this evening. Is there a film you love that you believe people should try and see in their lifetime? One film out of any film that you really feel people should try and make an effort to see?
That's such a difficult question.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. I wonder what people are going to respond. But I'm just going to go with one movie from this year alone.
Okay.
Sing Sing. I think everyone should see that film because it's beautiful. It's there's nothing like it to me. I mean, it's so incredible to go and experience what these men have experienced in that imprisonment and how they're wrestling with acceptance and trying to find an innocence that they lost as young boys, you know, and it's really touching and it speaks to so much about masculinity and kind of how we're not always taught to be able to relate to one another or to be emotional with each other. And I mean, it's just, the movie kills it, and Coleman Domingo is incredible, and so is Clarence as well, and so it's, I'm excited for that film.
Brilliant. Sing Sing is going on the list. Sebastian,
Yeah.
congratulations again on The Apprentice. Phenomenal film. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Matt.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, what an absolute delight to be joined by EE BAFTA Rising Star nominee Marisa Abela.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you
I'm
feeling?
really good, thank you. Really good.
How does it feel to be named a Rising Star? A simple question, but still a vital one.
It's amazing. It's so nice to, get recognized in that way. It's a tough industry. You never really know sort of like what's going on, so it's nice to have these moments where you can really pinpoint like, oh, it's good. And the great thing about a Rising Star Award is like it's only ever going to happen once. You like the nomination, it's like it's this very specific moment in time. It's really exciting.
Well, this is it, and look, the range that you've given us in your career so far has been so exciting to see. Look, you've played a beloved singer that the world will forever miss. You've played a ball-busting. Listen, Yasmin, that one, she doesn't play, and it only continues. When it comes to choosing roles, like what is your process when the script lands on your desk?
I think you feel it instantly. I think when you're excited, when you're like reading it, and for me, it's like my mouth is already moving along with the words. I'm just excited to tell this story and get it out, and I can already feel my body. It's like a physical reacting to like what it's on the page. Then you know that you've got to say yes.
That's it. I mean, when it comes to Yasmin, how hard was it to say, goodbye?
Well, I'm going back.
I mean, goodbye for now.
Goodbye
this time. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's one of those things that she's so in me now, and I'm about to go back, and like I'm so excited, but again I feel an obligation to her and to the audience of the show to not just like rest on my laurels with Yasmin. I do know her, but I want to like keep her moving forward and keep shocking and changing it up for the audience. I'm excited for season 4.
Well, that's it, and also great company to be in tonight, because obviously your fellow industry co-star, the wonderful David Johnson.
Yes.
Both of you two just look at each other like, oh my gosh.
I know.
Come and see live.
We keep like running into each other, obviously, at all of these things, and it's so nice, to just like have someone I love there, but also, when I was doing industry season 1, on our very, very first day, I sent a text to the group chat and I was like, does anyone want to go for a walk? And David replied to me and was like, yeah, let's go. We went for a walk around Cardiff, talking about like the show and how excited we were and what we were looking forward to. And the fact that we're both here now is just amazing.
Yeah, what a beautiful way to share a journey with like someone that you truly like, love and trust. Now, upcoming projects, exciting times. You are working with Kate the Blanchett, amongst others. This must be such a masterclass for you.
Yeah, I mean, the amazing, working with actors that you get to just like sit back and watch them, like you can do the job for me. Like, wow, it's so cool. And Steven Soderbergh as well, just like he's a genius. Him behind the camera, just like getting to work with Kate and Michael Fassbender and Steven Soderbergh, and I mean it was just insane. It was amazing.
And what would you say, just thinking about, I mean we're at the start of 2025, but thinking about 2024, because it was a big year for you. What have you learned about yourself now as an actor at this point? Because it's an ever evolving practice.
It really is. I think 2024 taught me that like I mean, all of this is amazing, and getting to celebrate the things is so important, and it's so great to have these moments where you can reflect on what it is you've done and shine a light on our industry. But the work itself for me, like, when I was able to take a break from, you know, the press tour of Amy or press tour of industry to come back and do some work like that movie with Kate and Stephen, that's where, like, I'm just in my happy place. Like, the work for me, like, just making sure I'm always got a job somewhere, because it just keeps me fired up.
Right on. Marisa, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your nomination. It's very well deserved.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful night.
You too.
Thank you.
I'm joined now by the brilliant Stephen Merchant, who just made me laugh.
Oh, thank you, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Just before I was doing my big introduction.
I just didn't realise how tall you were, and I thought you'd done a good job. What height are you looking at?
I'm about 6 foot.
6 foot? That's not bad. I remember when I was 6 foot. No, it's great. It's great.
It's so good to see you. You're presenting an award here this evening.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Best Adapted Screenplay.
Okay, good. Now, obviously, we have someone who is being presented with the BAFTA Fellowship this evening, which is Warwick Davis, who obviously you worked with. Any fond memories of working with him? What was he like?
I just bumped into Warwick, and I was saying it's richly deserved, because, you know, people forget he's been working in the film industry since, I think, about 10 or 11. You know, obviously in the Star Wars films, and he's done so much stuff. And of all the people I've worked with, he is one of the most. He's one of the nicest. He's one of the most professional. He's one of the most talented. He's a really terrific guy. I think he's underestimated as an actor. He can do comedy, he can do drama. He's so versatile, and so I'm very, very pleased to see him honoured tonight. I think that's great.
That's wonderful to hear. Now, big news in your world. You're joining the Walking Dead universe.
Yes.
Season 3 of Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon.
Yes.
You were a massive fan already, weren't you?
I'm a fan of that, but I'm also trying to broaden my my work in drama. So I remember getting the call a while back they said we want you to be in a Wolverine film. I thought finally the call's come in. I'll get down the gym. They said no, we want you to play a giant albino mutant. Just turn up Monday, no need for makeup. So anyway, this time I thought, hang on, it's a zombie show. Do they want me to be the tallest zombie they've had so far? But instead I play an actual human, so I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic.
That's all I can give away. I play a human.
That's an exclusive.
Yes,
We've got that now.
Yeah.
We've got that. Now, I have to ask on a personal level, I love The Outlaws.
Thank you.
I thought it was a fantastic series. I know you were asked shortly after season 3 if there'd be a season 4, and you were too exhausted to answer the question. I'm going to ask again, could we ever see a season 4 of the show?
My plan, Alex, is to leave it long enough that people are desperate for a season 4, and then we can ask for the big bucks. All right, we know how it works. That's why they're reviving everything now, aren't they? You know,
it is.
I know how this business works.
You're smart. You got it. Now let's talk about the movies that we're looking at this evening. Has anything stuck out for you from the nominees tonight? Is there a film that you've really enjoyed?
I'm nervous to say anything too much, because as a BAFTA voter, of course, I don't want people to think I have any prejudice or bias.
Sure.
But I am open to bribes for this time next year. But I was really excited although I really enjoyed things like Wicked, which I wasn't expecting to love. I really enjoyed it, and you know, Dune and these big budget films. I was really pleased to see those kind of low budget films like The Brutalist and Anora getting some attention, because I think I grew up loving those sort of indie movies of the 90s where people had sort of scrabbled to get money together and they'd made something kind of exciting. I'm thinking of Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs and all that sort of era. So I just think it was nice, I think, to see films that have worked with a low budget and are getting this attention and getting an audience, and have sort of elevated the small budget they had into something really striking.
As a creator yourself, do you think this bodes well for the film industry, the fact that we are looking at some great movies tonight that have been made on relatively small budgets?
I'm excited by that, and I'm also excited about the fact that there's some quite sort of, if you like, out there subject matter, whether it's sex workers or immigrant architects. It's sort of not the obvious criteria for movies, and yet they're finding award attention, they're finding audience attention, and I think that's exciting, because it felt for a period like maybe independent cinema or cinema that was sort of anything other than an old TV show being rebooted was sort of falling away. But I'm pleased to see that they're getting some attention, and hopefully there'll be a resurgence.
Yes, it's a wonderful bunch of films. Now, final question I'm asking everyone this evening. A film that you love, that you believe people should definitely try and see in their lifetime. One film.
A film that people should try and see that is not from this year's selection. But
It could be from if you feel that is the film that you feel people should see. In their
You mean
lifetime.
other than my wrestling biopic with Florence Pugh, Fight With My Family?
Love that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Do you know, well, I think, particularly for, I'm doing adapted screenplay tonight, and I think if any aspiring screenwriters, I always think an excellent sort of textbook film, just from a script point of view, is Billy Wilder's The Apartment. Early 60s, sort of rom-com drama, so beautifully constructed. Anyone who's got an eye on wanting to screenwrite, I think it's just an immaculate, crafted script. Just kind of, it tells its story beautifully. It's kind of it's economical when it needs to be in terms of expressing character and plot. It's really a very classy piece of work.
Fantastic. The Apartment is going on the list, Stephen. Always good to see you.
Anyway.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, this woman right here, Cynthia V. Arriva. We're going to add a V. Welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards red carpet. Being celebrated tonight with these gorgeous nominations, how does it feel to get this love in the UK?
This one's a big one for me. You know, it means a lot. It's been a long road to get here, and so to be here tonight is really special. Yeah, it means a lot.
Now, at this point, we have lived with Wicked Part 1 for about 3 months now.
It's only been 3 months.
Yes, November.
Isn't that bad?
Yeah, man, time has flown.
Yeah.
How has your relationship changed to how you think of Elphaba at this point? Now people have lived with her.
Yeah.
Now you've seen the fan reactions, the songs, the memes, everything.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Elphaba now?
I love her with all of my heart. She's legitimately changed my entire life. And I think what's really special about her is how she's made other people feel as well. I knew she was special, but seeing how other people feel about her, seeing how special that she is to other people, for me is like beyond.
I mean, it's incredible. When you look online, I have seen everyone from like 5-year-old little girls to 25-year-old drag kings and queens to 6-year-old men who drive trucks like bawling, defying gravity. Like it's
special.
incredible.
Yeah. I love that anyone is singing Defying Gravity. I love that anyone and everyone finds something in that song that just like gives them a little strength or just like amps them up, whatever it might be. There's something special in that song, and I'm just glad I got to like share it with everyone. It makes me happy.
And you'll be sharing more in November.
Yes.
Now, without putting too much pressure on you, I have to ask as a Wicked stan.
Yeah.
Wicked Part 2, Wicked for Good.
Yes.
Elphaba is really in her bag.
Yeah, she's
this
in her
time
bag
around.
now. She's like in it this time around. She'll be in it.
There's going to be extra drama to
Yeah.
say the least. How did filming Part 2 push you as an actor and with this role?
She's in such a different part of her journey at this point, so it's much darker, it's much richer. She has to grow, but I love it because it's like really juicy. You know, it's her womanhood that we're stepping into at this point. But you thought there were stunts here. There's stunts all over the place in the second one. So it's very physically taxing as well. But the emotions that she has to go through, the ups and downs that she has to pass by, it's full on for her.
It's full on.
Yeah, it's like gauging the difference between being like the grief and the sadness and then the rage, but then finding some way for the light to come through. That was like a real like mind warp, but I'm glad I could do it. Yeah.
And how has that affected you personally, would you say, pushing yourself that far for Part 2?
I was very exhausted by the end of it, but really grateful for the opportunity to stretch my wings to do something like that. It's going to be hard to follow up. It's going to be hard to find something that fills me the way that filled me. So I'm going to try and like look for the things that give me that kind of scope as a character. They're not going to be the same, never going to be the same again, but this felt really, really singular. Yeah.
Well, it's certified. This film really is part of our fabric now, isn't it? It's a film
I
that
hope
people
so.
are going to share. Well, look, you're seeing it. People are sharing it with their little sisters, with their parents, with their partners. It's really become like canon.
That makes me, that is like a special thing. To be able to join the canon of Oz is really, it's a wildest dream moment, you know? Yeah. To be able to like be in people's homes that much and for it to be shared with generations, and it's wonderful.
And I have to ask you, because obviously your gorgeous singing voice, we love just as much as your acting. Music in the future.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Yes. There is an album coming out this year. I think I've let everyone know it might be coming in the summer. I don't know if I'm allowed to share the month and the date, but it is coming very, very soon.
Okay.
Yes. We're getting ready for it. We're gearing up.
All right.
You're going to start hearing more and more about it. Yeah.
Okay, you'll tease us with that
Yes.
just a little bit.
Yes, yes.
Cynthia, it has been an absolute joy.
I love you, Clara.
I love you so much. It's been an absolute joy just to see you soar.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your nominations tonight.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, Team Wicked all day. Cynthia, really fun.
Thank you.
Oh,
You're the best.
He is receiving the BAFTA Fellowship this evening. I'm joined now by the hugely talented Warwick Davis. Warwick, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Alex. This is quite overwhelming, though, isn't it? I've never won anything like this before, and here we are at the BAFTAs.
but seriously, I mean, it's a huge thing. But how does it feel? Well deserved, no doubt. But how does it feel for you personally?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I'm an actor because I love entertaining people, and I enjoy the work. But this award is not only for my acting, but it's also for the work I've done outside of acting, in regards to my acting agency, my theatre company, and my charity as well.
I mean, what has that been like? Because I'm obviously aware of your talent agency. How important was it setting that up?
What I wanted to do with Willow Management was level the playing field a bit, because short actors weren't recognised for their talents, just their height. And there's loads of very talented individuals out there. And I'd done very well as an actor myself, and I thought it's about time other people had a chance as well.
Now, you have had and played so many iconic roles. Which is the one that you get asked about by people the most?
It's probably Star Wars, Wicket in Star Wars. I mean, that is the one that started it all. Without Wicket, I wouldn't be here right now. So I do get asked about Star Wars a lot. And if you're really strange and demented, it's Leprechaun. Hopefully there'll be nobody here like that tonight, because there is quite tight security.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I do like Leprechaun. Was it fun? Was it fun to film?
I used to like you.
No.
Yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, it's completely bonkers, but I'm glad I did it. I was desperate for work at the time, but it went on to become quite successful, so it's all good.
Well, I didn't think we'd be talking about Leprechaun.
No, I didn't. We've lowered the tone a bit, haven't we, Alex?
For me, it's Willow. Willow was the fantasy movie of my youth. I absolutely adored that film. Was that fun to make?
It was amazing. I mean, I was 17. We went all over the world. I mean, the movie is about an epic adventure, but making it was also an adventure in itself.
As well as you getting the BAFTA Fellowship this evening, there are obviously other awards being handed out. What do you make of the batch of films that have been nominated this evening? Are there any that have particularly stood out for you?
I mean, there's an amazing selection there. Is it The Cardinal that Rafe's in?
Oh, the Conclave.
Yeah, Conclave, is
yeah.
it? Yeah, why not call it the wrong name? So, yeah, I mean, that's outstanding. What else have we got? There's... I don't know, remind me of some nominees.
The Brutalist, is it in there? A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan story. I mean, there's a whole selection of movies.
Of course, the quality is going to be extremely high, as always.
Yeah. Let me ask you another question then. It's a question I'm asking everyone this evening.
Yeah.
Is there a film that you love that you believe everyone should try and see in their lifetime? One film.
It's a guilty pleasure. For me, it's Planes, Trains and Automobiles. Steve Martin and John Candy, my heroes. John bringing such wonderful emotion and gravitas to the whole thing. It's a beautiful film.
I love the fact you picked that. Such a good film, isn't it?
It's wonderful, yeah.
When did you first see it?
I went to a test screening in London when I was about 18, filled in one of those forms at the end, what I liked, what I didn't like, and loved it ever since.
Amazing! You basically focus groups one of your favourite films.
Exactly, it's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
That's brilliant. Well, once again, Warwick, congratulations on your BAFTA Fellowship this evening. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
Watching you in this film was such a joy. Obviously, laughed out loud. You are essentially playing yourself. How do you find a version of yourself to play that isn't betraying who you are, but still entertaining people who don't know you?
It was a born we were role to play.
A born you were role to play.
Oh, it's gonna be a long red carpet.
It was good.
The most profound statement of the BAFTA red carpet so far.
Jumble into the words around yourself.
No, but in all seriousness, obviously, look, you're playing yourselves, but obviously you're playing heightened versions of yourselves. There are going to be people who are your hardcore fans, people that don't know you. So what message did you want this film to give people who didn't know who New Cat were?
Sometimes I think that people forget it's like it's not easy playing a version of yourself, right? It's like, you know, it makes sure you ask the existential question, who the hell am I, right?
Yes.
And so there's this whole thing of like, you know, and obviously the film's gone well, but we did have a discussion of like, if the film's an absolute bomb, right? People might look at you and go like, you know, they don't like, if an audience don't like the film, they're basically saying we don't like you, right? And that was, you know what I mean? And that could be quite a tough thing. So they were very brave, massively brave to take the huge risk they did to back themselves to do the film,
Well,
and back
that's
me
it.
to make it as well.
Well, that's it, because you can't trust just anyone with your story. So what made you trust this guy?
Oh, well, I wouldn't go that far, still. Still don't trust him. That's just because he's English, though, in fairness.
That's true. It's not wrong crowd, mate.
I mean, took us a while. Rich, he was emailing us for like 5 months.
Okay.
2 months.
2 months, 6 months.
Okay.
I tell you what, every time we do it gets longer. It's about 3 days.
Okay, but it was a pursuit, shall we say?
There was a pursuit.
There was a pursuit,
And
right.
of course, we're very sceptical of English people trying to profit off the Irish, so you can understand why we ignored him. But we eventually met up, and he bought us a lot of free pints of Beamish Stout, like Guinness, but the better version Beamish. He bought us loads of them pints, and we got chatting. And actually, because Rich is English, it actually worked in his favour, because he came with no like preconceived ideas of what Irish culture should be like, and he listened to us and what we thought about how it should be portrayed.
Well, this is it. I mean, I learned so much about the Irish culture just watching it, and you know how beautiful the language is and like that, and its preservation. If you found you've had that reception to people that you probably weren't expecting to get it from, have people come up to you and say, "Wow, I did not know this about your culture. Thank you for enlightening me." Have you had a lot of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially in America, I think Americans didn't know that there was a language, like an Irish language. I think they thought the Irish language was just English with a funny accent.
Right.
So I think that was definitely a learning curve for a lot of Americans.
But there's also the fact that, you know, all around the world, we say at the end of the film, a language dies every 40 days, right?
So interesting.
And so it's been so interesting for us traveling around the world with the film and having people from every background you can imagine saying, we've got our own language struggles, we've got our own cultural struggles, and also remember the fact that the British Empire once owned a third of the world, right? So now when you make a film that's sticking a middle finger up to the Brits, don't be surprised if a third of the world turns around and says, yeah, we're going to go watch that, right? Because, you know, ultimately the legacy of colonialism still exists, right? In a lot of places in the world, you know, and so I think the film resonates on that level for a lot of people too.
Yeah, it's an international story, the story of language revival, Indigenous cultures, and that's why it goes beyond the Irish language, and it resonates with Aboriginals and Indigenous culture all around the world.
Yeah, we know people need to protect what's precious to them. Absolutely, guys. Last but not least, look, you've had exactly just like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings. Excellent
He looks
work
like
there. Look, you'll be back for another BAFTA. Andy Serkis is shaking. I'm sure. Last but not least, where's been the weirdest place that you found fandom? Because I know Elton John absolutely loves you. I know I wasn't expecting that. Who's been the fan that surprised you the most in the public eye? Would you say at this point?
Elton John said he had our underground stuff that he did with Stan.
He liked our early work. Elton John was definitely a big surprise. Who else was kind of funny?
Noel Gallagher, I thought that's
Noel
cool.
Gallagher was cool. We met him at Glastonbury.
That's good going. So you don't like anyone. So.
No, well, that's true. I think his brothers still don't like him.
He owes me money.
There's still time to work on Liam. Guys, thank you so very much for joining us. Congratulations, and also big up our mutual friend Toddler T. He's the best. Amazing.
Hey,
work.
up, Toddler.
Congratulations, man. Congrats. Lovely to. For those of you that don't know, the balaclava that DJ Provi wears is actually part of his persona, and it features in the film.
I'm joined now by a man presenting an award this evening at the EE BAFTA Film Awards. gorgeous Tom Felton. You look lovely, sir.
Bless you, Alex. Thank you very much.
We were just discussing, I didn't know you'd moved away from where we used to live together.
It's been a while since we saw each other, yes.
It
But
has.
it's good to see you again, looking fabulous as always.
Oh, stop. You are presenting an award this evening, but a question I want to ask is,
Yes.
a man you have worked with is being awarded the BAFTA Fellowship this evening, Warwick Davis.
Yes.
Who you obviously worked alongside in Harry Potter. Any fond memories of working with Warwick on those pictures?
Too many to mention in a soundbite, but I obviously grew up watching Warwick's work. Willow being my.
You were going to say Willow.
Well, that was my favourite as a kid growing up. So I was a bit nervous working with Warwick to start with, but many happy memories. Mostly him always treating it like play and fun rather than taking it too seriously. So he set a good tone for the decade to come that we worked together.
And it was a decade, wasn't it?
It was even more than that, I think. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Yourself, what are your opinions of the crop of movies that are nominated this evening? Are there films that have stood out for you over the last 12 months that we're awarding potentially this evening?
Mate, we don't have enough time. I've come into this quite blind, in the sense that I've not actually scrolled the list of nominees tonight. I really am sort of here to honour one of my good friends and good mentors, being Warwick and his wonderful family. So I look forward to seeing what's presented tonight, and no doubt the cream of the crop are all here.
Okay, final question, and I'm asking everyone this. A film that you love, that you believe people need to see in their lifetime. Yeah, big one to end on. Harry.
No. Willow.
Willow is a good one. I love Willow. And very on brand for this evening.
Yes.
Tom Felton, always good to see you. Have a great night.
Cheers, Alex.
Will Poulter, welcome.
How are you?
I'm great. Welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards 2025.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your relationship with BAFTA, because look, you are a BAFTA winner.
I got very lucky a few years ago. Yeah, they made a strange decision to give me the Rising Star Award. That's really a lovely thing that happened.
Tell me about what it means, I guess, to have that faith put into you, and that, I guess, that trust put into you as a young actor receiving an award like that.
Yeah, it was so nice to be kind of acknowledged in that way. Definitely nothing I ever expected, and yeah, really honoured to have been in a category that year with friends, like namely George Mackay, and some really wonderful people that I look up to, and thinking about other people that have won it previously and gone on to win it. Definitely like a vote of confidence as much as anything else.
Right on, and tonight you're giving out?
Yes, I am. Yeah. Sound and soundtrack with Nico, who's incredible. So I feel really lucky to be doing it, and sound design and soundtrack is sometimes actually not always like given the kind of level of attention or kind of the props that it deserves, and it makes a movie for me. So
Absolutely. I mean, think of how many songs that you've fallen in love with because you heard it at a pivotal point in a film, right?
Because of films, exactly right.
Any off the top of your head?
Oh my gosh. The problem is it's going to sound like I'm in like spoiler territory if I say that, because
Okay.
I know I'm aware of the nominees, and
Okay.
I obviously don't know the winner, but I don't want to you know what I mean? I don't want to put myself in a
And
hole.
this is why Will Poulter is doing the job tonight. He's a professional, dear viewer. He's a professional. All right, well, let's talk about film this year. We're asking everyone tonight, if there's a film that you really want everyone to see, whether it's out at the moment or just a classic that you feel is a comfort movie that you want to share with people, what film is in your heart, Will?
The favourite film for me is Sing Sing this year. It's not just because I'm like a huge Colman Domingo fan. And
I mean,
he's
who isn't?
Incredible, who isn't though? But Sing Sing was phenomenal. I also saw Real Pain quite recently, which I loved, and I just saw Jesse Eisenberg, and I wanted to tell him how much I love him. Those two stand out for me this year.
I mean, you mentioned these two incredible fellow actors, fellow directors, producers. Is that something that you're excited about getting into in the future, directing, producing, or are you staying in front of the camera?
Do you know what? I'm still trying to work out what I'm doing in front of the camera. I've got a lot of work to do and a lot of things to learn still in that respect, but doing a little bit of producing and starting to do that, which is fun. I think directing, I look at directors and I don't know how they do it. It's a lot of plate spinning, and I can
It's a
barely
sweet kind
hold.
of madness, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't think I possess the level of composure required. But yeah, just enjoying the acting for now.
And what can we see you in next that you're really excited to share?
Oh yeah, I am in Warfare, which is coming up, and Death of a Unicorn, and a film called On Swift Horses. So over the next couple of months.
We cannot wait to see them. Will, until then,
thank you
great
so much.
to see you
Good
as
to see
always.
you. Yeah,
I'm going to tell
definitely.
Coleman Domingo that you love him.
Please do.
I'm going to pass that
He
on.
knows already. I've told him.
I mean, yeah.
Very uncoolly.
We
myself.
love you, Coleman.
Yeah, we love you.
I'm joined now by the legendary Jeremy Strong, starring in The Apprentice. 3 nominations this evening, and very wisely, the first person I've interviewed wearing a coat, because it is very
Thanks,
cold. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm great. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, wonderful. How does it feel to see The Apprentice being recognised here at the EE BAFTA Film Awards?
Yeah, I mean, we were here in October for the London Film Festival. This movie has had a sort of long and arduous road to finding audiences, and it's been an incredible validation and sort of vindication for Sebastian and I to be acknowledged by the community. And the BAFTAs to me are like the Holy Grail, so this is it's very exciting. And my children are watching this live stream right now, so hi girls.
Please say hello, yes. So your character, Roy Cohn, a very divisive figure. What's that like to approach as an actor? Is it exciting or daunting?
It's very daunting. I think daunting is the sort of most necessary ingredient for undertaking any piece of work. I think if I don't feel daunted, if there's not a sense of sort of peril, I probably shouldn't do it. But, approaching this on the level of the art form, playing Roy Cohn is like playing Iago or something. One of the great Shakespearean villains. But at the same time, I'm interested in looking at people, interrogating them humanistically. Roy Cohn is not we live in a very hyper-polarized time where people are either deified or demonized, and I'm interested in, Sebastian and I wanted to look at both of these men as human beings. William Saroyan famously said, "Despise evil and ungodliness, but men of ungodliness and evil, these understand." So it's an attempt to understand Roy Cohn and Donald Trump and how we sort of got to where we are right now in 2025.
And obviously Sebastian Stan playing Donald Trump, also nominated tonight.
Yeah, brilliant, fearless performance, transformational performance.
And does it feel extra special that you're both
it does.
nominated because of the collaborative nature of performing?
Yeah. It was incredible. It's incredible.
With a lot of your roles, whether it's Kendall Roy in Succession, your character Jerry Rubin in the Trial of the Chicago 7, and here Roy Cohn, you seem to disappear into the roles almost completely. Does it take a lot out of you as a person when you're that immersed as an actor in these characters?
I guess part of the joy in it and the way of making it meaningful to me is to disappear into it and get lost in it, and you sort of want it to consume you, and you want for it to sort of take possession of you. So that involves a lot of work and a little bit of hopefully magic, and who knows, but that is what I love and what I attempt to do.
And
you want them to see the character and never you is the hope.
In terms of the other nominees this evening, are there particular films that you've enjoyed as well?
You know who I absolutely loved is Clarence in Sing Sing. I just thought it was a beautiful, dangerous, just bone-honest performance that I really have to make a deep bow to.
Final question that I'm asking everyone. It's a tough one to answer. You can pass if you really want. Is there a film that you love that you believe people need to see in their lifetime? One particular movie that you'd recommend people see in their lifetime?
I mean, that's a juggernaut of a question. I would say my sort of, if I had a film at the pinnacle, it's The Godfather 2. But recently, a film that really explores the time we live in, cancel culture, polarization, sort of the court of public opinion, it's Thomas Vinterberg's movie The Hunt is a movie that I particularly love and think is an astonishing movie.
I love that film as well, The Hunt. Jeremy, congratulations on your performance and your nomination this evening. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
BAFTA nominated for the EE Rising Star Award this year, David Johnson. How are you living? How are you feeling?
I'm living well. I'm feeling well. No, it's really nice to be here. So nice to see you because I love you, Clara.
Love you more.
Yes, you do. There's so many wonderful people here, and to be included amongst that is just a dream. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. It's such an interesting concept, isn't it? The Rising Star. It's such a great celebration of all you guys' collective talent. Yeah. But also, let's talk about the fact that no one here is an overnight success. You've all been grafting. So tell us about the journey to get from you as a young actor, you at drama school, to now being BAFTA nominated.
It's hard work. And I really think BAFTA understand that. It's just not an overnight thing. People see you kind of as a finished product, and actually the truth is you're a work in progress. I still feel like I'm thinking of myself as a work in progress. I'm still finding my way, working really hard, and hopefully good things come out of it. Yeah.
Well, this is it. You've shown us what it is to work in the city, to work with alien life forms, to be a synthetic human, to find love in Southeast London. You really do give us a lot. And I think one thing we're asking everyone tonight is how do you go about selecting what's right for you?
Yeah. Well, you've got to take time, you know what I mean? You can't, I try not to be too impulsive when you're selecting projects. Listen, to be working is a blessing, but, I think to have the career that I hope, which is you want to create a body of work, you need to, it's about timing, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So sometimes a good project might not be the right time, but I'm really grateful to be working, yeah.
And also tonight, it's really special to share space with your wonderful industry co-star, Marisa Abela, singing your praises. She was telling us about the walks that you guys went on, telling us about the group chat.
She's telling too much. We need to stop her. Can someone stop her from saying so much?
She saved the tea.
Okay.
It was all the wholesome stuff. But it must be so great to share that space with her as well.
Honestly, to be part of this, what feels like a new generation of actors, coming up and finding their way. We literally did our first basically main TV show together, and we grew together. So it's really a special moment. I love that girl from the bottom of my heart. It's such a special time for us. Yeah.
So from doing that again, from drama school to being part of industry to now being part of the Alien universe, how edifying does it feel to be part of a franchise that people are obsessed with? People don't love Alien; they are obsessed with it.
They are a little bit obsessed with it. Yeah. And I don't know, man. I'm just one day at a time kind of guy. I'm really grateful though, because what I do love about the Alien universe is it's good characters, it's good world building that Ridley's made, and to be part of that and push it forward, from my perspective is it's a dream. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And who's next on the director hit list for you, David Johnson? I mean,
you can't ask me
you say Ridley Scott's a casual, working with Ridley, so
Okay, no, I mean, look, I want to work with just great people. I remember Gary Oldman saying to work with international directors, and that really struck a chord with me. It's that feeling where home is always going to be home for me. I'm always going to find projects here and try and do some pieces of representation as to what I understand and know, but to work with people from outside of this tiny island would be a real dream. Yeah.
Well, here's taking your British talent to the world,
Thank you.
David, thank you so very much.
Pleasure, Clara.
Nominee for the BAFTA EE Rising Star 2025, David Johnson.
Thank you, Clara.
It feels weird
hearing you like that. Yeah, that was so
But it's true, it's happening. Two-time BAFTA nominee this evening, Mikey Madison. Welcome to the EE BAFTA red carpet. Anora, what a special film. I think the thing I love about this movie is that it really is, even though obviously it's about male gaze in so many ways, it really is about women, I feel, and their love of each other and their advocacy for themselves. Did you find that immediately when you read the script?
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think the film definitely talks about the way that Annie is treated as a sex worker, specifically by other men and some women as well. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because in the club you get to see her interact with some women, and I think because they have similar shared experiences, they're able to, in some ways, have a kind of friendship, and then also in situations like that, it can be quite tense as well.
Yeah, it's true, and but what I really loved as well was the tenderness between Annie and her co-worker, particularly her best friend.
Oh, yes, Lulu.
They're real sisters. Did you find that was an energy that you picked up when you were doing your research, like in the clubs?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're kind of vampires sometimes when you're a dancer, because you're working at night, and then during the day you sleep, and so I think that the people that you work with sometimes you can become close with. But it's also like making a movie, where you're filming at crazy hours and you become really close with the crew and the cast, and so I think that it's natural.
And I was want to just salute you for, I guess, what you've done for representation of people that probably feel like they are tarred by society, that they're judged really harshly. Like, how has that been for you? Like, with these women who do these jobs, have you found that you've had a lot of positive feedback in what you've done?
Oh, absolutely. That's been one of the most incredible parts of all of this, is getting to talk more with that community and hear their responses. We had a couple screenings to really celebrate these women, and it was amazing. The feedback and the response was so beautiful and positive. It made me very happy, because that was one of the most important things that I was hoping for.
Well, that's it, because Annie really is her own hero in this story, which I think is the most special thing, right? Just advocating for herself. Mikey, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, and congratulations for this evening.
Thank you so much.
I'm joined now by the writer and director of A Real Pain, nominated twice this evening, the wonderful Jesse Eisenberg. How are you, Jesse?
I'm great, thank you so much.
Welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards. Are you enjoying yourself so far?
Oh yeah, it's really amazing to be here. I am surprised that I get invited to this or any of the other things that I've been invited to. And so, yes, quite an honor.
But it must feel quite nice, I'm guessing. I don't want to put words in your mouth, to have your film recognized in this way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a sob story, but the movie was like a very modest movie. It was made off the grid, in Poland for $3.5 million. But I mean, so it was a small movie, a modest movie. So yes, of course, it's surprising to be here, and that's the good feeling. I guess it would feel worse if we expected to be here and weren't. I mean, but I have low expectations all the time, and so I'm always pleasantly surprised, and usually not surprised by. Yeah.
Sadly, your co-star Kieran Culkin can't be here this evening. You cast him without seeing him before. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I had met him like a few times briefly, and so I knew kind of his quality, his essence, and his nature, and so he seemed exactly right to me. It's a part that requires not like. In addition to great acting, which Kieran is, it requires a certain kind of charisma that I just, you don't see a lot. A kind of charisma with comedy and drama where, the two are not in conflict with each other. So Kieran in this movie is like brilliantly funny, but also really heartbreaking. It's just a rare combination, and he's a very singular performer.
And obviously the other award is for Best Original Screenplay, which is your work, and it's got personal elements in this story. Does that add something to the validation, I guess, of receiving a nomination tonight?
I guess it does, except like I'm not like a real like Hollywood writer, so like everything I've written is personal because no one's like paying me to write it. So everything I've written, my background is mostly in theater, and everything I've written is personal. I'm directing a movie now about a woman who joins a local community theater troupe and finds her voice in community theater, which was my story too when I was younger. So like everything I write is personal because I haven't been hired to write anything else.
Celebrating her nomination as supporting actress in Emilia Perez, Selena Gomez.
Hi.
Welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards. Your very first BAFTA nomination.
My first time. I'm so happy to be here.
I know you've got such a love affair with the UK, so this must be extra special, right?
I'm telling you, this was one of the biggest highlights for me.
So, talk to me about what happens when a script like Emilia Perez lands on your desk.
It is pretty interesting because it was very compelling, and it was definitely wild, but it just felt like something I was capable of doing, so I wanted to try it, and And I'm really grateful I did, you know?
And I guess it really is a great piece of work and a great role for you to have, just to really express your skill set, because obviously we've known you since you were a kid, and you sing and you dance, and this is that like times 10, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was the goal, is to do more things like this.
It's really funny. Obviously, there's a particular part of the movie where you turn to your lover's character, you give him, shall we say, a show?
Yes, I do.
From the car. You know, getting to do things like that, is that quite freeing for you as an actor?
It's hilarious, but I also had a banjo on.
Yeah,
so I was
just for
totally
context.
fine.
Just for context. But, you know, getting to be that sort of playful.
Yeah,
as well.
liberated
Yeah.
and different. It was so fun.
And let's talk about the incredible Zoe Saldana.
She's like Mother Nature. She is so sweet, and just, I'm so proud of her. Like, she did such an amazing job, and I'm honored to know her.
No, truly. Excellent work from both of you. More musicals in the future?
I wouldn't say no. It was really fun, so who knows?
Who knows? Okay, and last but not least, we're asking everybody this evening, what is a film that you really want to share with people, whether it's a classic, something that's new out? What's the comfort film that you love to put other people onto?
Comfort film. Casino.
Do you know what, Ginger?
I live for Ginger.
I could really see you and your beloved doing Ginger.
Thank you. Maybe
at
we should.
Halloween.
We should do that.
I can really see that. Okay.
Thank you.
Ginger, you heard it here first. Lena, thank you so very much.
Thank you so
and
much.
Congrats on your nomination.
Thank you.
And that interview shoot, very sexy.
Oh, thank you.
Very
I
fair.
loved it. It was fun.
I'm joined now by the brilliant Mr. Simon Pegg. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm very well, thanks, Alex.
It's lovely to see
We
you.
should have called before we came out tonight. Although, you know, they complement each other, I think.
We look good
We
together.
do.
We look good together. And so you're presenting an award this evening. Looking forward to it?
I am. Outstanding British contribution to cinema, which I'm very excited about because the recipient has personal significance for me. So it's very, very nice to be given out this award.
Okay, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I want to jump straight into a big question I have for you.
Go on.
Final Reckoning.
Yeah.
Coming out this summer, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning.
Yeah.
The last, I imagine, Mission Impossible movie.
Ever.
Is it? Do we know for sure?
It's difficult for me to answer that question because it would require possible spoilers. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, the clue's in the title, you know?
I mean, that's...
Yeah.
No, I understand. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I have to ask. Obviously, Benji is a fan favourite in the series.
Yes.
Are you going to miss playing him?
I love playing Benji, you know, and he really goes through it in this film. It's probably my favourite of all the ones that we've done, and you know, when the Benji prequel happens inevitably, and Jack Loudon plays me, good luck to him, I say.
And being on set, I mean, obviously you've worked for many years with the great Tom Cruise. We watch his stunts as an audience, and our jaws hit the floor at what he's doing.
Yeah.
You actually see him doing it in the flesh.
Live, yeah.
What's that like?
Horrifying. I mean, genuinely terrifying. At times, you know, you don't know if he's going to make it to the end of the day. Particularly when we're doing the big ones, like when he went off the cliff on the bike. Although we were hysterical with kind of like we were giddy with excitement because it was amazing to watch. Because you never have any real doubt that he's going to pull it off because he trains so hard. He's not frivolous about it. People say he's crazy, but he's like the opposite of crazy. Everything is so machine tooled. So, but it is worrying. It is sometimes there's tension on set, and you know, and we say goodbye to him as if we're never going to see him again.
Oh my God. Let's move on to what happened last year. It was the 20th anniversary of Shaun of the Dead.
I know.
I mean, I was at the premiere for Shaun of the Dead. I remember seeing you at the party.
You were 4 then.
Stop. But I was just like 20 years.
I know. It's crazy.
Like, to take us back to that premiere party, like. Did you imagine it was going to become as culturally significant as it has and be celebrated in such a huge way last year?
No, I mean, we had no idea. We just wanted to make our movie. That premiere party that you attended was where we came up with the idea for the Cornetto trilogy because we had free cornettos at the party, and we were so excited that we got free ice cream. We were like, oh well, why don't we put it? If we put some in the next film, we get more. And so that's why we put more cornetto. There wasn't some sort of Krzysztof Kieslowski kind of artistic plan. It was a scam for free ice cream. I can reveal that now.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have to ask, do you think we'll ever see a fourth edition to the Cornetto trilogy, making the Cornetto
quadrilogy?
Quadrilogy?
There was a word, I think, invented for the Alien box set.
That's right.
We'll definitely do another film together. That's not in question. I don't think it will be like another film like that. I think we'll try and do something very different. I think you have to run the risk of disappointing your fans in order to move forward. And so rather than just do the same thing again and, do a sort of like British take on an American genre or whatever, we'll do something different and try and break new ground like we did before. Otherwise, you run the risk of just doing the same thing over and over again.
Delighted to welcome to our EE BAFTA film red carpet, Rafe Fiennes.
Hello.
It's great to meet you.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Conclave, shall we? Because who knew that Cardinals could be so bitchy, so fiendish?
I think lots of people knew.
I mean, but to have it confirmed on film is quite something. Talk to me about the first time you read the script. Obviously, it's an adaptation from a well-loved book
By Robert Harris.
Indeed.
Yeah, no, it was a page turner. I mean, Robert did a lot of research into conclaves, and I think the previous conclave, in fact, has elected the current pope. So I think he's exploring quite real divisions in the Catholic Church. But it's like a political thriller.
Well, this is it, and it's really interesting. So I guess when we think about, men of God, men of the clergy, there's almost a two-dimensional image from the outside. They're perfect, they are without sin, but we obviously see.
Well, I mean, there's drama and literature has covered the humanity of priests and clerics since very early days. Shakespeare definitely had a go at cardinals.
This is also true. This is also true. But there's a level of fiendishness, it seems, in this story. How fun was that to be, with John Lithgow and Sally Tucci?
Well, I think a lot of these cardinals are good people, and they have their flaws, and there are one or two who are very deeply flawed, perhaps. But some of them, I think, are aspiring to find the right spiritual leader. So I think it isn't totally a cynical story at all.
An incredible cast, of course. Yourself, Sally Tucci, John Lithgow, Isabella Rossellini. Talk to us about those times in between filming that you were able to bond with each other, because obviously tensions are high in the script.
Well, there are not many tensions that I can remember between us, between takes. We were a very happy crew. Bonded, I think Stanley Tucci was a great, he was the sort of the spirit that held us together and took us out and recommended restaurants, and we had lots of Bellinis with Cardinal Bellini.
Do you know what that checks out? Like, if anyone's going to give you a good recommendation for a restaurant, it's Stanley.
Got to be
Tucci,
Stanley, of course.
And Reunited from Made in Manhattan.
That's right, yes.
Quite something.
Okay.
Going forward in the future, what else would you like to tackle at this point in your career? Because I know you don't say yes to every script, because of course you don't. So at this point, what's putting fire
Well, I don't
belly?
know. The scripts that are a surprise, the things that you would never thought would come to you, those are the ones I wait for. The things, they thought of me to play that role, and something completely out of your orbit is always exciting.
More comedy in the future,
Yeah,
perhaps?
definitely. I'd love to do more comedy.
Would love to see that. And please tell to us about your director of Conclave and just the process of working with him.
Edward Berger, fantastic man. He's incredibly, he's a humane and kind, insightful director who creates a wonderful collaborative energy on the set. He's always investigating, he's always looking for what more is there, what more can he find. I think it's quite rare when you find that level of focus on a film set, because film sets are by nature very pressurized places. And he has this sort of stillness about him and focus, which I think made everyone want to come up to his level.
And ultimately, when you come to work, you want to feel valued, don't you? And that's what everybody wants.
He does. That's what Edward does.
Right on, and you can see it on that screen. Rafe, thank you so very much for your
Lovely
time.
talking to you.
And congratulations on the nomination.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm joined now by Zoe Saldana. Lovely to see you here at the EE BAFTA Film Awards. How have they been so far for you?
Well, I just got here. This is my first year attending the BAFTA Awards, and I'm just so stoked to be here.
And for a movie with 11 nominations, including one for yourself, congratulations.
Thank
How does it
you.
feel to have your performance recognized Best Supporting Actress?
I mean, I have to pinch myself to believe that I'm here today. This is definitely a dream come true, and I couldn't be more proud of the project that has brought me here.
To have it confirmed
We have seen you in very different kind of films before. Avatar, for example, and Guardians of the Galaxy, which involve a lot of fight choreography.
Yes.
I'm interested to know just how dance choreography compares. Are they similar? Is one easier? Which do you prefer?
Well, it depends. It depends on the length of the piece that we're doing. Whether it's fighting or it's dancing, it's kind of all relative. For me, dance has always been my foundation. Thanks to dance, I've been able to sort of make a career in action films. And now that I'm older, I would say that the choreography of El Mal for Emilia Perez was much more difficult than doing any stunts for Gamora or Neytiri.
Because, like you say, you danced when you were younger.
Yes.
It must have been nice to tap into that for this film.
It was beautiful to reconnect with parts of myself that I had left behind years ago, yes.
Okay, listen, I want you to have a great night.
Thank you.
Good luck and well done on the film as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Time on the EE BAFTA Film red carpet is over for another year.
Time flies when you're having fun, but a huge thank you to you guys for watching, and of course, a big thank you to our incredible guests.
And right now, it is our absolute pleasure to hand you over to our host for the evening, the one and only David Tennant.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Alex and Clara. The time has come for the 2025 EE BAFTA Film Awards. Grab your popcorn. I'll be kicking off tonight's celebrations on BBC One and iPlayer at 7 p.m. See you there!